If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and enjoy the show. What's up, fight fans? Welcome everybody back to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over some very interesting statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning why Bud Crawford is pretty much nearly unbeatable. And if we look at his record, that statement is true. We know he's 40-0. We know he's a knockout artist with 31 knockouts. And we know he's coming off the most impressive win of his career against Errol Spence Jr. last July. And we also know there's a lot of questions right now, some unknowns about who he's going to sign with. The other day, it was reported that he is a free agent now. And also, when is he going to fight again? And who is he going to fight again? But it's just a joy to watch. He switches stances effortlessly. His fans love the mindset that he brings into the ring. He literally is like a pit bull in there. He shows no mercy, and he executes a game plan like no one of his generation. It's something that could get overlooked is his high fight IQ, his ring generalship. And it's more often than not, guys, the fighters who are able to make the adjustments under the chaos and the bright lights who are the ones able to write an impeccable legacy, such as Bud Crawford. And so far, his is unblemished. But today, I want to talk about the statistics, not his win-loss record, not his opponent's win-loss record, but some statistics from his last fight, which are pretty fascinating. We're going to talk about total punch count. We're going to talk about jabs and his power punch output compared to his opponent, Errol Spence Jr., and we're going to break down the story that all those statistics tell on why Bud Crawford is pretty much unbeatable. Say what you want about Errol Spence. Say what you want about the car crash, the eye surgeries, how he was coming into the fight, the weight cut, whatever you want. We're only going to talk about the data, the statistics, and they don't lie. And guys, they tell a very interesting story. We know the fight ended in the 9th. Some other facts about it. We know EJ went down once in round 2 and twice in round 7, but we're going to talk about what led to that outcome. And the first bit we're going to mention, the story we're going to tell, is the total punch count. We know Errol Spence Jr. is a southpaw and he's a marauder. He comes forward and he likes to pressure his opponent up against the ropes. And we know Terence Crawford in this fight came out southpaw, but he also fights orthodox. So this kind of tells you the headspace Bud is always in a fight. He's looking for his openings and he isn't afraid to switch stances and make adjustments on the fly. Overall, from round 1 until it got stopped, Errol threw more punches, which tells you he was more active. If we're weighing activity and output on total amount of punches, Errol Spence Jr. threw 480, Bud only threw 369. And when you watch the fight, you start seeing that play out. It's not like Errol wasn't busy. He outpunched Bud by over 100 punches. But here's the interesting component. EJ only landed 96 of 480 at a 20% clip. Bud landed 185 out of 369 at an incredible 50% clip. When's the last time you watched a fight go 9 rounds and the guy who won landed every other shot, literally 50%? What does that tell you? A couple keywords. Bud on that night was accurate. Also, Errol was there to get hit, but we know he's always there to get hit. That had nothing to do with car crashes, eye surgeries. Look at Errol's resume. EJ's style is there in front of your face to get hit. Bud knew that. The interesting component about this is how many punches EJ threw and didn't land. What's that tell you about Bud? That front foot, being able to exit the pocket, timing, and his elusiveness. Something that really doesn't get talked about a lot when we're talking about Crawford, his elusiveness. The second statistic within the total punch count are the jabs. We knew and we know that's a huge part of Errol's arsenal. Every fight, he loves setting his power hand up with his jab. Once again, he threw more than Bud. Errol threw a total of 296 jabs, but only landed 33 at 11%. He threw, once again, almost 100 more jabs than Bud, 90 to be precise. Crawford only threw 206, You ready for this? He landed 87 at a 42% clip. What does that tell you? EJ is out punching him, but Bud is using his feet, his ability to go back, and then his also ability to counter to out jab Errol and totally remove that tool from Errol's toolbox. Errol's whole game starts with that jab, and Bud's game plan was brilliant. He stayed in Errol's face, but he timed it. He got Errol's timing pretty quickly from that second round onwards, and you could see these statistics tell that story. And the last one, which is the most astounding in my opinion, are the power shots. We know EJ loves working the body, but we know Bud likes working the body. Overall, Errol outpunched Bud in this category too. He threw 184 punches to Bud's 163. Errol lands only 63 power shots at 34%, while Bud is over 60%. He lands 98 out of 163. So Bud's not only accurate with his shots, he's extremely efficient. Bud is a guy who coaches in the gym would say doesn't waste his punches, meaning that his punch output might not be as high as his opponent. In this case, EJ out-punched him by 100 punches, but Bud's gonna land more because he takes what he can get and he doesn't force or waste any shots, a la 50% landing of his total shots versus Errol's 20%. These statistics do not lie, and we could watch the fight, which we did. You could see the crazy and highlight reel knockdowns and how the fight was stopped. But to really understand the sport, you got to lift the veil and look at the statistics, and these stats tell that story. All right, guys, if there's a fighter that you want me to do in this sort of sense, break down his statistical career numbers, or a fight like we just did, Bud versus EJ, let me know both in the comment section below.